What's going on, everybody? My name is Merm, and today I got a nice review for you guys. This is going to be for the game Sunset Overdrive for the Xbox One. This game is an Xbox One exclusive that came out in late October. The game story revolves around basically a company called Fizco coming out with a new drink called Overcharge. You work for Fizco in the city of Sunset City, and during their launch night for Overcharge, everyone is drinking it, and they basically turn into mutated zombies and they go crazy. You have to run away, and you basically have these cool jumping and moving around powers that allow you to escape. You find a man named Walter, and Walter basically takes you in as a companion, and basically takes you with his friends who have been sort of surviving the apocalypse because you were stuck in your house for a few days after escaping. Basically, Walter and his buddies help you survive and give you new abilities, weapons, customization abilities, and basically from there the story takes you through Sunset City. And each new location you get to, your team of people, Walter, Floyd, Callista, and Two Hat Jack, basically you guys set up a base, which is similar to the one in the brewery, and you can brew up amps, you can buy guns, you can do side missions in that area once you unlock it. Let's talk about the customization. The customization in this game is beyond amazing. I actually didn't expect this game to be deep in any of the ways that it is. But basically, after you get to the first base, you can talk to a chick named Callista, or a man, I'm not really sure. And you can customize yourself, because you do get to customize yourself before the game starts, but you know, you're not really sure what's going on. You kind of just want to start the game. That's what happened to me. But you can customize yourself as unlimited times throughout the game. You can completely change how you look, and I think that's great, because I think sometimes you play it through a game and you're like, okay, well, I picked this guy, but I don't really want him to be. I want to be a girl now, and I don't think you could actually. I think you can actually do that in this game. I know you can change how your character looks 100%, and it's just really cool. You can buy new clothing with in-game cash, which isn't the real cash like microtransaction. It is in-game money, or you can buy new weapons with the Overcharge drink. And there's so many customization options in this game. It's great, and you can really create how you want your character to look. Now let's talk about the bread and butter of Sunset Overdrive. Now, if you haven't seen any of the trailers, basically what Sunset Overdrive is all about is the way you move throughout the city of Sunset City, the way how your guns are, what they are, how they act, and your amps, overcharges, or yeah, overdrives maybe. I think they're overdrives. And basically all the ways you can customize how you kill these enemies. Now, there are a ton of guns in this game. If I had to put my number on it, I'd say between 20 and 30 guns. And I haven't beat the whole entire game yet, but that's where I'm at right now, about 20-30 guns in the game. But the cool thing about it is that they're all unique, you know. In some games, like Fallout, you'll have the plasma rifle, and then you'll have the unique version of the plasma rifle. But here, as you can see, this Roman candle is basically a gun that shoots fireworks. And it's been my favorite gun of the game so far that I've been playing with, and I've enjoyed a lot of the guns that I've had in the game. The movement is fantastic in this game. The movement is basically what this game is all about. You move through Sunset City in the most unique ways I've ever seen in a video game, and you can clearly tell that the way the city was built was based around this movement. The city looks great, and everything still makes sense, but you can move around so masterfully in this city once you get down the movement, like how to move throughout the city, that it's really cool. You can find ways that they clearly put this in here so that you could figure out how to maneuver through it. And it's really cool once you figure out how to do stuff like that. Amps are a really cool part of this game. Basically what amps are ways to boost your character after getting enough points into your style meter. And there are a lot of amps, as you can see on the screen here. There's Melee, Hero, Epic, Dive Bomb, and Hero Extra. And basically every little section of your style meter that fills up, you get an amp bonus, and these can be anywhere from when you swing, fireballs come out, to when you jump on something, it explodes, and it's a lot of fun, and amps are a really cool part of this game. Not only do you mention that, but there are also overdrives and weapon customization and stuff like that we're just not even going to get into, but there is a ton of customization in this game, and it is way deeper than I thought it would actually be. When you look at the trailers for this game and stuff like that, this customization is huge. I even had trouble figuring it out until about halfway through the game because I didn't take the time to listen. And that's one of the main problems with this game. Right at the beginning, they pile on all the information about the first half an hour to 45 minutes of the game. And to be honest, it can turn a lot of people off. I saw some people live stream it saying that this game isn't that great. Now they're only half an hour into the game, and they are piling on exposition onto you. And I think that is a big problem with the game, is that the first half an hour to 45 minutes are just bad. They really are. You don't have all your movement yet, and there's a lot of cutscenes and storytelling kind of going on, exposition. And they're basically explaining the whole entire game to you, which, like I said, is actually a lot more deep than you might think. And it basically causes a problem where you have all of this stuff just thrown onto you all at once, and then they just like, alright, now do it. And you're just like, oh my god, you're a little confused there. But honestly, about an hour and a half into the game, you start to get the hang of things. And the best way to get the hang of the movement is to do these side missions, these challenges, I think they're called in the game. And you can basically, it's a movement challenge where you have to get from point A to point B in the ways that they tell you to, and it really helps you get the hang of how to maneuver throughout the city correctly, and how to maneuver around mobs when you're trying to kill them, because that's very important. When your character doesn't have a lot of life, so you have to be constantly moving so that you don't die, and that's one of the big parts of the game. That is the main part of the game, actually. You don't want to die, and so, if you learn how to maneuver correctly, you can actually survive a lot longer. And if you maneuver correctly, I actually didn't have much of a problem when it comes to death in this game. And I will show you a few death animations, and they're really cool because each time there's a different one. And if I had to guess, I'd say there's about 20 to 25 of those. And I didn't even see all of them, I don't think, throughout the most of the game until toward the end. I started to notice some repeating ones, but they're all really funny and they're cool, and it makes you not hate dying as much because you start the checkpoints are great, and the death animations are kind of cool every time. I like some of them and they're kind of cool, so you don't really hate dying as much. You're like, get frustrated for a second and you're like, oh, that was a cool death animation, or respawn animation I should say. And it's really nice to see those. Really nice to see how much care they put into every little detail of this game. So how's the story hold up? Well, I think the story is pretty damn good for me personally. I think most people will enjoy it as well. The humor hits, it's a hit and miss, but it's mostly hit for me. There's only a few times where I was like, oh, well, that really wasn't that funny, but I was never like, oh, that was so not funny that I wish they would have just left it out of the game entirely. It's more like, oh, that really wasn't that funny, I'll just wait for the next joke, which will probably be funny. So that's how the humor works for me. For the most part, the game takes about, I'd say if you were rushing through the game and using fast travel the whole time and not looking at any of the side quests, if you're not doing any of the amps, if you're not picking up many guns, if you're not customizing how your character looks at all, if you are literally just picking how you are and just going through the game, I'd say this could take you about 8 to 9 hours if I had to guess. Now, me personally, I like to customize myself. I like to check out what the whole entire game has to offer. I don't really like to fast travel in this game as much as others because it's really fun to just maneuver your way throughout the city. And it took me about somewhere between 15 and 20 hours to beat the game. And it was a lot of fun. And that's not even mentioning Chaos Squad, which is a great new mode they added. Chaos Squad is basically an online play. And it has basically you and a group of like 8 guys, I think. And you guys go out and do a quest. And you do like 5 or 6 quests. And at the end of it, you get to do a night defense. And I think it's okay. I mean, they could have done more with it. I haven't played it with any friends, but I think it'd be really fun if I had a friend to play it with. And overall, I think it was a decent mode to add on because really the main reason you're getting this game is for the single player, which is fantastic, like I mentioned before. And throughout the game, you unlock new guns, new customization abilities. It's just a lot of fun. All the guns in this game are just so great. I can't even mention that. They're really creative and really fun guns in this game. There are 2 final parts of the game that the reason I held them for last is because they're my favorite parts of the game. And those 2 things are the boss fights and the visuals. Let's talk about the boss fights first since it ties into the story. I think the boss fights are some of the best boss fights in video games I've seen in a very long time. They, are fantastic, they're creative, they're different, and they utilize the movement and weapons that this game has to offer. And I think they're really fantastic. They're creative, like I said before, and they don't overstay their welcome either, but at the same time I wish there were more of them. They were so good, and that's why you can go into Chaos Squad and you can fight bosses in Chaos Squad, so that's pretty cool, and that might keep me coming back to it. The visual style in this game is so great. The graphics in general are pretty damn good themselves, but The visual is what makes this game awesome. You know, when you kill an enemy, it'll say boom across the screen, or right at the beginning it says, awesome apocalypse when everyone's dying, and it's really cool. There'll be like a splash if you kill an enemy that spews overcharge everywhere, and if you pound the ground after jumping up really high, it'll say crack on the ground. It's really cool. I like this game's visual style, and it's very cartoony, and if you're into that kind of thing, you'll probably love this game as well. So, overall, what do I think of this game? I think this game is fantastic, and it's a Game of the Year contender for me. If I had to give it a rating, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I think there are only a few things wrong with this game, namely the first half hour to 45 minutes isn't that great, and I think a few times throughout the game, they could have just done a little more. I think sometimes the quests are a little boring and they're a little stale, but very rarely does that happen in the game. And I think that anyone who owns an Xbox One needs to buy this game. It's a must-own. It's fantastic. And, yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I will be doing more of these because I really enjoy them. And, tell me what you guys think of this game if you have it. Or if not, will you buy it? Because I think everyone should. Peace out.